they
Do
think.
you find that people recognize you on the street at all?
Okay, this is, it's one of those like things that are so embarrassing to admit, but like, fuck, like if I come downtown,
Yeah.
oh my God, like sometimes 5 to 10 times a day. I'm not exaggerating. I wish I was joking. Like if I go
Will they
clubbing in Yale
point?
Town,
Will
I
they
w-
point, or they'll be like, "Oh,
Or
hey, it's
staring?
Christos."
You're like, oh,
no, like
that's
it's so weird because like I don't think of myself as like anything other than this like just random like Vancouver guy who's
Yeah.
like running around with his like phone out. But I will go out in Yale Town and people, I'm not even joking you, it's ridiculous. Like I ask for photos with me.
Yeah.
I'm not even
really.
joking. It's weird and it's so flattering, but I'm also like, why? Like why? But
Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Vlad, and my co-hosts Murdad and Amir, and we have a special guest for you today. You might have seen him on TikTok over the For You page algorithm for the last couple of years. Right?
almost a couple years and a couple weeks.
Wow.
At least, yeah. Christos. You might have seen his apartments, his renovation on his new house, and now his new house. What he does in
Didn't
a daily
use us,
day.
but that's okay.
Yeah. And the Tim Hortons iced coffees, which you can't live
yeah.
without. So without further ado, everyone welcome Christos. Give a round of applause.
Thank you guys so
Good,
much. Thank you.
We were just talking about Georgia, how she was on the podcast,
Mhm.
and you guys grew up in a similar area.
Yeah. No, I was literally just saying, I mean, obviously a couple of my TikTok friends, it's funny because me and Georgia haven't officially met, but the virtual friend of mine, and I saw she was on here and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was excited to
It's crazy how,
have
like,
my
again, we were
chance to, talk to you guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No,
If Georgia wasn't on, there's no way you would have replied to that email.
No. But familiarity is
Delete,
nice.
of course. Of course.
Familiarity is nice. Obviously, like regardless, I was excited, but seeing a familiar face, makes, like feels a little more comfortable.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
And then
Coming to
you-
three
yeah.
strangers and talking.
No, but then of course you do the Instagram stalking. And I'm like, okay, I see the mutual friends. Like,
Yeah,
okay, everything's cool. Like, let's do this.
They're not crazies, yeah. Not
But-
yet. No.
But yeah, Vancouver's so small that I feel like, your For You page is filled with people that are just local, and you
Mhm.
feel like you just know everyone. You
Mhm.
don't really know them, and
Yeah.
it's,
Oh, for
it's an
sure.
odd thing. Like
Yeah.
you'll go to a club and you're like, do I say hi to this person? Like
Yeah.
is this dog better from the hospital yet? I don't really
Yeah.
know this person.
So when I first saw you on my For You page, I think it was like in COVID. Like,
Probably just
When-
after COVID.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I always say, sorry to interrupt you, but I always say like, oh, I started after COVID, but I keep forgetting COVID went on way longer than lockdown.
yeah.
Like,
It wasn't just
after-
3 weeks.
It was
Yeah,
after
yeah.
lockdown. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but during
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, but I remember seeing you and the apartment that you lived in, and I never knew which area of Vancouver that was because I didn't live here at the
Mhm.
time. And I remember, I think it was you and I were driving around like in the last year, and we passed by, and I noticed the entranceway, and I was like, "That's where that guy lives." And then I didn't see you on the For You page for a while, and then just recently you came up again, like in the last couple weeks. So you post daily vlogs
Yeah.
every single day, nonstop, right? Or you're at
Oh my
you're-
gosh.
you're
How
at
many did
340,
you-
something right
Okay,
now?
well, okay. Every single day, I try every single day. Lately, I have been a little, I've slacked a little. Like, I try to aim for 5 videos a week lately, sometimes 6. Honestly, it depends on how much I have going on in my life. Like, right now, I'm also going for my real estate license. So I'm
Nice.
studying and I'm trying to, find time for both. So I try 5 days a week. But my favorite thing to post is daily vlogs. But
Mhm.
I also do, fun things to do around Vancouver, food, which whenever I post a food video, I feel like a sellout because I don't want to be a foodie, but I've learned people want to see food videos. And whenever
Yeah.
you post a food video, I'm like, oh, that's where the followers come in. But yeah, no, day in my life vlogs, I try to post.
So
as many as I can.
have the followers growing like more with the daily vlogs or versus the food? What's been your kind of best hit?
So it's funny is I guess when I started, it was only daily vlogs, right? And when I first started, it's funny, I probably grew 10,000 in maybe like 3 weeks a month maximum. And that was all on the daily vlogs. And then it
Still
got,
pretty good.
no, I know, but then it got like I was stagnant, I wasn't growing and I was like, oh gosh, what do I have to do that's different? And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, let's post food. I love food. I'm familiar with the Vancouver dining scene. I grew up here. So I started doing food, fun things to do, and it started growing again. And I was like, okay, awesome. Like I can cut this now and go back to what I like to do. Did the daily vlogs. They were working out again for a long time. And same deal, sort of got stuck. Not much growth. Views were dropping. And I was like, now I'm going to incorporate doing voiceovers
Mhm.
onto my vlogs. And that helped a lot. And then it's funny, when I moved earlier this year, the whole renovation process, everything
People love
really
seeing
blew
that.
up there. like my views skyrocketed and my following doubled like literally in a month. So
What about that process?
I think it's okay. I was getting bored of filming in my old home.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe people got bored of seeing the same, setting every
Atmosphere,
single
yeah.
day, the same
Uh-huh.
atmosphere, the same routines. And maybe it was a change of environment and the daily changes of just seeing something come together. It made vlogging much more exciting for me.
Mhm.
So
And that passion just kind of continues
yeah, it made it
on.
much more exciting. It felt repetitive. I was like, oh my gosh, people do not want to see me make this same old bed, for the
Yeah.
150th time in the same apartment. And so I was like, you know what, it's time. That's not why I moved, but I was
Uh-huh.
like, now we have a change.
I
and
thought that's where you were leading
Yeah, I was
to.
no,
I was
no,
like,
no, that's
Jesus,
not why I moved at all.
doing
But
anything.
no, but the move, honestly, it was once I moved, not just my following, but like, brands started reaching out so much more. It was just everything really. My dad made a joke and he was like, "Oh, you need to move more often." I was like, "Yeah, fuck, like maybe." But
How long did that renovation process take? Because I mean, we're obviously all
Yeah.
in construction. How
Who
long
did you
it take?
use?
Yeah, could you use?
I'll tell you
Michael,
after.
what-
but-
bleep out the part where he says,
What did you not like about the renovation? Because like, we
Let's
deal
trash him.
we deal with clients all the time, and we want to get into the client's head, like what are they experiencing, and how can we do better as general contractors and subtrades. So like, what did you like, not like, how long? Just give us the whole rundown. Start
Okay,
from the
"Hey,
designs.
how did you find them?"
Yeah, how did you find them?
Oh, my family's worked with him a few times now.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, I'm going to tell you, I liked everything. And the reason why I liked everything is because I did most of it. When I say did most of it myself, I sourced all my own material. I sourced,
Designed it.
I designed
So you
everything.
designed it. Okay, great.
Yeah, like I chose my floors and I was the one who would go out and find the floors, arrange the delivery. I was the one who arranged, honestly, everything, right?
Okay.
So he ultimately, in the end of the day, just
He was
built-
installer.
he was
Yeah.
just the installer.
Gotcha.
He's
Manage
an
the
amazing
trades.
installer, but the whole thing was done, I think, in 6 weeks, and it was a pretty big renovation. But the second I sold my place downtown, I was like, okay, I need to start sourcing everything I need. So when, I get possession of the new place, we can just go,
Start,
like day one, let's just go for it. Nothing, we're not waiting on anything. So things came together really quick, faster than
you.
I thought they would. I was expecting 2 months, but it was like 6 weeks.
Yeah, and you did flooring, paint. Did you do new kitchen, new bathrooms?
Okay, just one new bathroom. One bathroom I kept. I want to change it, but the kitchen had just like a lot of wear and tear. So I just had the company who did the kitchen already. It was only like a 4-year-old kitchen, just come in and
Oh.
swap cabinets
Hmm.
and baseboards. So
Well, I really think it's good to have variety. So next time you should try a different contractor and really compare and
well, no,
contrast.
obviously I'd love to. It was just, I needed someone quick, and I knew someone, and I was just like, is
Yeah.
he available? He was available, perfect
Yeah.
timing, and it just
Mhm.
all worked out. And I was like, I didn't want to be stuck in limbo very
course,
long.
yeah.
It'd be terrible
but-
if you had some kind of like nightmare reno and you didn't have a place to live for a month, or you had to move back home.
Yeah, no.
Um,
So I mean,
That's good.
it was it worked. It worked really
So
well.
you're from Vancouver. So go ahead.
So I was gonna say, Murder and I do that a lot, where to have, it's good to have the clients involved,
Mhm.
go shopping material and everything. They feel involved in the process, where like we sometimes do buy them material ourselves, and then just like they give us full control. But
Yeah.
It
but
really
yeah,
depends on
having
the clientele.
yeah, it depends on the
No,
clientele.
see, my
but
other love aside from social media is real estate, home development,
Yeah.
and what you guys do, honestly. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was very controlling,
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, no.
that's good.
Yeah.
most clients are.
Most we love all of you though.
It's like it's their home or something.
Yeah. So you're from Vancouver.
Yeah, born and
Where
raised.
whereabouts in Vancouver did you grow up?
Okay, so it's funny. I grew up in the neighborhood. Well, grew up. Oh my God, I don't know what you could consider
Like
grew
what
up.
area did you go to? Like elementary, high
So like
school, public?
elementary school, I actually, for the first majority of it, I went to school in the area I now live in. And then I went to my last couple years of elementary school and high school in Kerrisdale. I went to Point Grey Secondary School. And then I lived in my family home, obviously, till I was 21, 22. And then I moved out. And then I obviously moved downtown. And then I moved to Mount Pleasant.
And you're 25, 26
I'm
now?
26, yeah.
26.
96.
I'm a 96,
Ah,
yeah.
When's your
same
birthday?
age.
I'm March 11.
No
March 18th.
way.
No
March
way.
24th.
Okay. Oh wow, a lot of us. Okay, cool. I've been meeting a lot of March babies lately.
Yeah. There's a lot of March and a lot of September babies.
Are you a big
that's the whole-
zodiac person?
Sorry,
Are
no,
you-
not at all.
no, no.
Honestly, like not
Next
at all.
question.
Not at all. I don't know anything about him.
Do you even know what sign you are, Brenda?
Yeah, that's a long story. You're not gonna...
Well, because he wasn't actually born. He's a phony, basically. You
Yeah.
were actually
February,
born
right?
in February,
I
but
don't-
because
yeah.
of
Don't
the
ask me
leap
why.
year-
I don't know. My parents somehow legally changed my birth date
Interesting.
from
okay.
March 24th to from February 24th to March 24th. So I'm
Interesting.
technically a Pisces, but I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Pisces cutoff is 19th actually.
March.
So you're not even a Pisces.
Well, I am technically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because
that-
yeah, no, I
because
get what you mean.
because,
It's
yeah,
end of
February
February.
24th.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
And the
Okay.
soil at which you are brought from.
Jesus Christ.
You-
How did you know Pisces cutoff is on the 19th, Vlad?
Well, because mine's
Do
the
you believe in
18th.
magic, Vlad?
He's a witch. No, because mine ends on the 19th. I mean, mine's the 18th, so I just see it.
So what are your thoughts on Vancouver in general? We can
Oh.
we can dive into different topics of it.
Of
but
course. I love it.
Yeah?
I love it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Like,
mean-
look at the view right now. It's
I know it's
incredible.
insane.
I mean, aside from the view, which is beautiful from up here, I feel like I had to teach myself to love it, which sounds stupid, but I feel like
That makes sense.
but I'm tired of, I go out and all these people complaining about like, what a lame city Vancouver is, or, how there's nothing to do here. And, I had that moment in my earlier 20s where I was like, oh, there's nothing to do here. And I'm like, no, honestly, you just need to find shit for yourself to do. And there's so much to do. You just need to put in that little extra effort to leave your
To leave
Comfort
Cactus
home.
Club.
Leave your,
Yeah,
but
leave
like
your comfort
branch out,
zone.
like even go into the suburbs and how much there's to offer
Yeah.
everywhere. And I love Vancouver. I'm never
Yeah,
leaving.
like we
No.
had Nico from the restaurant Lula's.
Of course,
So
yeah.
we had Nico
Have you
on
been?
here.
Well, yeah, and I'm half Greek, so yeah,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, I'm a half Greek boy, yeah.
So like when Nico was here, like we're talking about Commercial Street and just
Nico's one of the owners.
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
just venturing out that way.
I know.
And there's so many different little pockets of Vancouver that have been
Oh, I know.
unexplored really, and we're fixated on Yale Town or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's nice to take a little separation from that.
No, there really is a lot, that the city has to offer. So I have very few bad things to say.
No, that's awesome.
Have you traveled much outside of Canada itself?
Lots,
Yeah?
yeah, lots.
So you have the experience of like what you've seen out in the world, and then you can
Yeah.
come back here and be like, oh shit, this place
Yeah.
is
And
nice too.
appreciate it for what it is.
No, I've traveled a lot, and I spent. My dad was I shouldn't say was, he still dabbles in it, but he was a film producer, and so I spent a lot of time in Los Angeles because that's where his company was based out of. And I've learned, people always complain it's even hard to make friends here in Vancouver, and I'm like, well, you go somewhere else. At least my experience. I'm only talking on my experience. I spent a lot of time in Los Angeles, and I met a lot of people, and it was super easy to meet friends, and I met a lot of friends, but none of those friendships like progressed to anything more than a surface level party
Yeah.
friend. And I'm like, here, in Vancouver, at least I have a smaller group of friends, but they're a really good group of friends.
Tighter friend.
Yeah, it's a very solid group of people, and
That's what you need.
yeah, but
Yeah.
no, I've had my experience, and I also think we have the best food of,
It's really good.
I mean, anywhere I've ever traveled. I mean that as like a whole. We have everything, and we do everything well,
Yeah.
and there's something for everyone.
What's your favorite spot for coffee? We all know
Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
What about like say, what's your favorite sushi spot?
Oh my goodness. Well, it depends, right? Because I feel like I'm a different sushi spot for different.
There's different tiers of sushi.
But
too.
depending what I want to go for, like if I want my raw fish, I will go to Manami or Miku. If I want a fun night out, I love the eatery in Kitsilano. They're one of my all-time
Those are
favorite
cool.
spots, and all
Cheers.
the staff there are amazing. One of my favorite childhood spots it's called Shoda Sushi. It's in Kerrisdale, and it really just depends. Am I going for a fun night out? Am I going for like good quality raw
Right.
food, or am I going
Yeah.
for just traditional
Quick
sushi
delivery.
or
yeah.
quick? Because I have my favorite hole in the wall spots too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it depends. Like
Yeah.
we do it great.
You guys are looking at me. Okay, I'm the host. These are my co-hosts.
Okay.
Co-host,
And so,
yeah.
okay, so you're going for your real estate license.
Yeah.
What do you do right now? Because ever since I've seen you on TikTok, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck does this guy do? Because
Yeah.
that was a very nice apartment. You progressed into a very nice house. So what's the background?
Okay, well, what do I do? I love that question because it like
I asked him in
it-
the
it-
elevator too. What's
No,
up?
but it
He
bothers
was
me.
like,
But
"No."
it's also a question that I'm like, oh man, someone asked me the other day, and I mean, we'll get in. There's like two different parts to this, right? But someone asked me the other day on my TikTok, what do you do for work? And my response was, you're literally watching a sponsored video, right? So
Yeah.
I do monetize my my videos,
Oh,
and
sweet.
I can get into
Nice.
that later. But that's like, it's not how I afford a home, you know? I mean, I inherited when my grandpa passed away, I got an inheritance, which is how I had my downtown place, and it's how I have my current place. And I don't I don't have a mortgage and I don't have rent, right? So anything I make is just spending money. And
Yeah.
you know, I sometimes say, even, I mean, like, obviously I sometimes say this, someone's probably gonna hate me for saying this, but even minimum wage is like a livable wage if you didn't have rent or a mortgage. You know what I mean? If it was just
Oh, of
spending
course,
money, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure, it's just spending
And
money. Yeah.
everyone's always like, how do you have so much money? And I'm like, well, I don't have rent or a mortgage, but no, I monetize my videos and I
Yeah.
collaborate with.
No, that's
Okay,
awesome.
great.
I think one of the sorry before that, but like one of the things I think we like about your videos, and I think many do, is because it's just so raw. Like it's just so natural, and
Thank you.
nothing's forced about it. And so kind of what you see is kind of what you get, and it's not showcased at all. It's just here
Well,
it
that's
is.
the thing. I
Like it or
try to
don't.
do it very subtle, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to
Is Tim
make
Hortons
my
one of them?
account look like an advertisement for.
Well, no, but even just how you
Oh.
carry yourself is like an extension of that.
Cool, thank you.
So-
I appreciate that.
Yeah. How many takes does it take for you to? Because I don't do nearly as many reels as this guy does. But how many takes does it take for you to do a voiceover?
For like a 1.5 minute video, oh my goodness, that's probably the longest part, because, you know, I film as I go about my day, and I
Yeah, you
like
just
edit
clip here.
as I go. Like, as I'm like, oh, I like that clip, I add it into my, you know, I use an external
Yeah.
editing app called Splice. And
Oh, we use that too.
yeah, and as
Yeah.
I go about my day, I keep adding to it and adding into it and adding to it. And by the time my day's over, I'm like, okay, all the content's there. I just really need to trim it down now and speed it up. But the voiceover, I'm like,
You get used to your voice. though.
but I tell people it only takes me 10 minutes. And then sometimes I'm there doing it, and I'm like, holy shit, 45 minutes has gone by and I'm not even finished yet. And I'm like, oh. And the thing is, I went to radio school, and radio school really turned me off from hearing my own voice. You know, it's funny, I don't know why, but now I am so
you hear it
picky
all the
about
time, yeah, yeah.
everything I record, and I'm like, oh, I sound weird there. Oh, I sound weird there. So yeah, it takes me
Do
a
they
long time.
teach you how to have a radio voice? Because I feel like they all have the
draw-
same
yeah,
voice.
well,
Yeah.
they're-
No, they
yeah,
do.
no,
I
They
can't
do.
do
They
it.
do.
I
They do.
can't.
They do.
I cannot
They
do
really
it.
teach
I
you
would
to
do it.
speak in a very specific way, but I was just like, I'm not doing that. But I whatever.
When I record a reel, usually when I do the first take, that's gonna be my best take. Because every single
Yeah.
time after that, I get into my head about what I want to say.
Overthink
Because I'm
it.
only doing like 15 seconds, maybe 30. And at the end of the day, people aren't listening, in my opinion, to every single word and so on. So I just kind of try to get it over with and not spend too much time. But like I said, I do maybe one a month.
Even though
But I
we
should-
push them to do more.
Yeah, it should be more. I agree. Like Murdad does a
But yeah,
voiceover almost every day as well.
Help me. So I post
Help
a
him.
lot. Yeah, help me. Help you. I post a lot, and for
Mhm.
whatever reason, my engagement isn't that high. I'm trying to figure out what can I do
And
more.
but you think it's because you don't explain what's going on. You just kind of show.
Yeah, I think
and then
I
you
show
fuck
I
off.
show like, okay, we've done this, or this was the before and this is the after. I don't really maybe talk more. Maybe I should educate more, and like this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Mhm.
But even then, I feel
I
like
don't feel like your engagement is bad. It's just the industry that you're in.
I just feel like for the
compared to other, compared to other pages that do similar stuff.
yeah.
Your engagement is pretty good.
Yeah, but that's because
Yeah, yeah,
those
sure.
others don't try. They don't spend the hours.
I don't
that
really
he
have the
does.
Some of
competition.
them do actually. Some of them
Some
do.
yeah, but I don't
But
have
what
the
kind
direct-
of
It's pretty
content
good.
do you post on your reels?
So my reels is all typically about my business.
Mhm.
So for example, you know, we're at a job site,
Yeah.
we're looking at it. This is what we've done today. This is the progress we've made. We'll do the odd charity, so we'll talk about the charity and promote that. But
Business stuff.
business
Like,
stuff.
yeah.
At the end of the
Renovation
day, it's
mostly.
business stuff.
Interesting. Huh.
So, but the engagement, yes, he's right. In comparison to
It's like this here.
my peers,
Oh, actually, I did a little creeping, and I actually saw some of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
because I
don't
was
want
like,
to hit a follow.
click like
I
one of
will
This is the
now, I will
problem.
now. No,
This
this
is
was
the
like this was
problem.
like
The
a,
conversion
this was
is
like
even
when
our
you
guests don't
emailed
wanna
me at
follow
3 a.m.
you.
in the morning. I will, but no, okay. No, I couldn't tell you why. I couldn't, honestly.
Like that's a new phone. You're like, yeah, I got it today.
Fancy
You got,
guy.
you got the island thing in there too.
It's
called-
useless.
what is this called?
The
New
island in the
I
middle.
don't know.
Something
Yeah.
invisible
It's
island.
stupid. They're all the same.
Like that.
But anyways, help. Yeah. How would you suggest he gets his
Yeah, like
his
what do you think?
engagement up?
How could I take, let's say, what you're doing and modify it into what I'm doing and increase engagement?
Okay,
I've done a day in the life.
was gonna say.
You know, like go for the coffee. The hand goes towards the coffee.
That one actually didn't
Yeah.
get bad views.
No,
Michael's question was, what do you think makes his videos
That's
successful?
a much better question,
yeah.
Michael.
Okay.
So I can emulate it. Your favorite word.
Okay, well, let me tell you
What's your
something. Okay,
favorite word?
so this is my only advice. When I started making my videos at first, they sucked. You know, like when I say they sucked, I mean no one was watching them, and I did a little research, I guess, and I shouldn't even say research, but I read basically, and I don't know where I read it, but on some weird forum or something. It was like you either
Black market.
yeah, I don't know. On like Reddit probably, but it basically said, you know, do you want to be a little fish in a big sea, or do you want to be a little bit of a bigger fish in a smaller sea? So when I was posting my videos before and it was just random content, obviously it works out for some
Yeah.
people, and it really much does. Like no one was watching it. And then I was like, okay, so if I, you know, obviously we have the world, and if I just target Vancouver and just really keep it to Vancouver, you know, how would that work? And obviously it worked
Found
for
an
Vancouver.
Oh,
And it's not
gotcha.
even a niche, because I guess, yeah, it is a niche, but it was more of a target audience, I guess, more so a location.
Yeah.
Because at least I know if my videos are being pitched to people in Vancouver, and, you know,
Well, like for me, it makes no sense. Like when I first got TikTok,
I think
because I got
people,
TikTok
yeah.
late, but when I was getting messages from like people in like California asking me to come like tile their bathroom,
Well, yeah, that
and I'm like,
too.
this isn't working. Like, what's
Yeah.
the point of this?
No,
So I
you,
started kind of tagging and using
Mhm.
hashtags differently so that I was targeting people in the community, so that I could hopefully actually, you know,
Yeah.
convert that into a client.
yeah, no, I think my only advice is it's like, you know, I like familiarity, and especially in a city like Vancouver. I mean, like, as much as I love Vancouver, if you live in a lot of other cities in the world, this isn't really okay, maybe someone's going to say I'm wrong for saying this, but why would someone in LA or why would someone in New York want to watch the renovation of a home in Vancouver, or the day of like a day in the life of someone in Vancouver? And I was like, you know, the only people in the end of the day who are really going to want to see Vancouver content are people who live here and
Mhm.
can relate to it, right? So my only advice would be target audience, and make your target audience your home and where you work out of.
Do you think the whole hashtag thing, all that
Oh, I
stuff
think it works.
Yeah.
I think
Think
it
it
works.
works?
Yeah. I
Uh-huh.
used to go crazy on the hashtags, you know, like I
The
was like
hashtags
Vancouver,
gives me
Vancouver, BC,
anxiety.
British Columbia,
Yeah.
like, you know, explore BC, YVR, Van City, every single thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, it worked. It really worked. And I've tried to like lay off of them because it's a little embarrassing, but no, it works. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? If it works, it works. Who cares how you made it work, right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
So most of the brands that you work with, then, are they Vancouver, BC based?
Well, no, mostly Canadian.
Canadian.
Yeah, I try and keep it Canadian, but I
Are
do.
they reaching out to you, or are you reaching out to them?
Oh. Okay, so that's the hard part about this is it's how do you, you know, this is one thing I really had to wrap my head around. How do you reach out to someone, basically ask them for money?
So I
You know what I
So
mean?
I reached out to there's a floor protection company. I'm gonna call them out here,
Mhm.
Ramboard, and they're like, oh, we'll sponsor you. I'm like, great, send me product, I'll make
Wait,
videos.
so you reached out to them, or
I reached out to them,
Okay.
and I was like, hey, I'm willing. I'll make great content, make great videos. I'll do yours because no one else in the industry is doing this stuff. But I'll do it for you. Like, sure. They sent me product. Then I slap with a $200 shipping bill from DHL.
Oh shoot. Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay.
I don't want your deal.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, I reached out, but what do you do?
I reach out if I want something for. This sounds so horrible, but if I want something just for free,
That-
no.
no, that's
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 fair.
totally
No, but it's
fine.
like, but
Like,
I'm like,
why
you know,
wouldn't
if I want
You're allowed
something
to
for
do
free,
that.
and I'm like, you know what, maybe I can get this for free, I will reach out, but I will obviously provide on
Showcase
my
it,
end and showcase and
Of
put in the
course.
effort to share. When it comes to paid work, like I said, it's hard to ask people for money, you know. And how do you say to someone like, "Hi, will you pay me to do this?" when they probably have like a million, you know, like this whole content creator influencer world. There's
Mhm.
so many people out there with,
Yeah.
but
But what do you have to lose?
What do
no,
you have
it's
to lose?
true.
And
But
also,
usually I just people reach out.
yeah, like
Must
let's
be
say
nice.
let's say you don't have a million followers, but you have a following that's very loyal to you.
Mhm.
And that's more important than a million followers that are just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's this guy again.
No, I get that.
whatever,
And I mean,
yeah.
I've learned engagement's important. And also, a lot of people who message me, which I find very, you know, it's a compliment, is, you know, they just tell me that my content is good quality
Mhm.
and that's what they like. So I think it's sometimes obviously quality over
Quantity.
quantity. Sometimes, I mean, obviously, I don't know, but It's hard though. It's hard, but do I get a lot of like, it's not like I got them on the daily, these paid
Mhm.
offers, but I definitely get them on the weekly.
Mhm.
But it's still, it took a while to get to that point.
Mm.
At first it would be like, oh, someone offers, oh my God, I think my first paid offer was like $200 and it was just like a fuck yes. Like someone like
That's so
wants to
cool.
pay me
Do you say
two.
no as well to any or
What's funny is I say no to a lot. And I
A lot.
always joke, I wish I was more desperate for money because like if
Right.
I was more, and I'm not saying I'm not desperate, but I wish I was like really desperate because
Hungry for it.
like hungry for
Yeah.
it because I could be making a lot more money than I do, but I actually most of the time, this sounds stupid, but I like bring the price down in order to deliver less. And the only reason why I say that is because I don't want my feed to seem like an advertisement, right? So
yeah.
like someone will say, and like this was like actually a little ridiculous, but someone offered me $1,000 for one video the other week, right?
Mhm.
And their requirements were ridiculous, and I was just like, how badly do I want $1,000? Like, yes, I want $1,000, but it was such a sellout video. It was
Yeah,
super
yeah.
embarrassing. It was scripted. It was,
That can make you lose more
I know
money.
exactly.
exactly.
It was
Yeah.
like, please pin this
That'll
to your
hurt you.
profile for a few days. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to accept $1,000. I will bring it down to this, but I want to like really low key
My terms.
my terms.
Gotcha.
Like, and I will, instead of one video, I'll like incorporate your product into 3 of my videos and
Uh-huh.
charge a little less, but I just don't want it to look like an ad.
Are
Right?
all these negotiations done over DM?
I was gonna
No,
say,
usually
have you
email.
negotiated?
Usually
Email.
email, yeah.
Okay.
Have you
But
negotiated? Been like, for example, if that brand wanted $1,000, you like, I'd be willing to do that for like 3,000. Have you tried that?
Never.
upselling?
Never?
I never.
I think you definitely could because they're lowballing you for sure.
Never. I
Like
mean,
they want to lowball you to see if you'll bite or not.
But also, like, even like what we do, I think we could charge more, but we don't because we just think like, let's just accumulate. We're still early.
Mhm.
Let's get the ball rolling more
yeah.
until a point where I can now request more. I don't know. Is that what you think too, or
No, my thing is it's
authenticity?
well, it's
probably, right?
that one. It's I just don't want anything to look like an advertisement. And normally the more money they offer you, the more requirements they
Mhm,
have. And
Mhm.
sure, obviously, you have to work to make money, but sometimes they, like someone will be like for instance, like I actually like there's a job right now that I'm just gonna forfeit payment and just take the free shit because the requirements are just so stressful. And I'm like, I send in a submission and they're like, change this. Oh, you didn't say this. Oh, you didn't say this. And I'm like, it just sounds so fake. And they sent me a lot of very generous products. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say, you know what? Let me do it my way. Let me keep the product. I'm not gonna accept the money. But
Yeah.
well, you know your audience better than anyone.
yeah, and it's just sometimes embarrassing. And I actually I took a job that I shouldn't have a few weeks ago, and I say I shouldn't have because it was very obviously an advertisement. And
Uh-huh.
people were commenting on my videos being like too many ads.
Oh,
And I was like,
yeah,
oh, this is
yeah.
embarrassing,
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's funny when someone comments on a video that does have either like, product placement or collaboration and asks me, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I did something right, obviously, because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't notice that
It's
someone
subtle.
that it is subtle and someone did either it was just like a gifted item or it was a paid item. But it's if someone doesn't realize it, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it the way I want to do it,
Mhm.
So
Have you
yeah.
made any like crazy money from one of these things?
No, $1,000 is the most I've ever been
No.
offered for one video, and I didn't even accept $1,000. So
Right.
I'd rather do a bunch of small ones and do it my way and not feel like I'm working,
Yeah.
No, for sure. Keeping I think
It's
those
a lot of
values there.
fun sorry to cut you off, but it's a
No.
lot of fun if you don't feel like you have to,
Sell out.
well, yeah, just meet requirements that you just think are unnecessary or
Mm-hmm.
people aren't going to like to see. So I just like doing smaller things here and there.
I guess
For
that
sure.
that turns to then in question, what's the game plan or like what's the end goal in like a few years from now or even a year because social media changes so quick.
Are you gonna
What's-
like modify that into like day of my life into real estate kind of thing, or is it gonna be like a different
Ooh.
avenue?
That'd be pretty
Do you
cool.
know how
I feel like
there's been a handful. No, I mean, yeah, no, there's been a handful of times I've just been like, I'm not gonna lie. There's been a handful of times I've been like, I quit today. I quit. And my close family and friends would tell you like it's so fucking annoying because one day I'll be like, I quit, I'm done, I'm never doing this again. And then the next day there
Just
I am
walk
like
out.
with my phone out and they're like, I thought you quit. And I'm like, I know I said I quit, but I honestly don't know. I really take it day by day. I definitely don't see myself doing this long term. I
Uh-huh.
don't see, for me at least, I like, I'm not doing this at a capacity that I can make a full career
Mhm.
out of this. I just do it more for a hobby and it's working right now. Obviously, I'm going for my real estate license.
Maybe you can evolve it into something
Well,
else.
No,
here's the
of
thing too. I
course.
feel like what if these people that you have a following now want to work with you in real estate
Well, that's what I was
because
thinking.
they
Yeah.
trust you and they like you as who you are.
Well, that's what I'd hope, obviously, right? I'd hope that, I've actually, it's funny. I met a friend who's now a friend, and she's a real estate agent who I met through my TikTok. She watched my videos, and she was like, Christos, like, you have to do this.
She's a Vancouver realtor?
Yeah, she's a Vancouver
Who is she?
realtor. Sorry?
Who is she?
Her name's Paris Minapur.
So anyways,
I love her. She's at Oakland, and she's so nice. And
Oh, sorry, continue.
but she, I bumped into her one day, and I knew she watched my videos, and she was like, Christos, you have to do this. Like, you have the following to do it, and people will want to work with you just because they feel like they know you. It's a sense of, anyways. So I was just like, let's do it. I also don't even know if I want to be a realtor. That's the crazy part here, right? I'm like doing this because I have a love for more so what you do, but it goes ahead.
Do you have a liking for design? Like, have you ever taken any interior design courses? Or
no, I've
not,
never.
What's when you sketch them out on a program? What's that called?
AutoCAD?
MCAT? Yeah.
AutoCAD.
Okay.
MCAT.
Yeah.
Michael knows the MCAT very well. AutoCAD.
AutoCAD. Yeah. So, do you have any interest in that, or is it more so the real estate construction side?
Oh man, it's funny because my whole life growing up, I always wanted to work in entertainment, right? And I was really set on working in entertainment. And it was, I grew up acting in television, and then I actually worked in music up until COVID. And then I found myself, doing my TikTok, which I sort of, to an extent, consider entertainment. But it sort of came to a point where, I had enough friends, and I had a dad in the industry. And I learned, like, if I really want to make this work, I'm going to have to leave Vancouver. Like, we don't really have the
bandwidth for
we don't really have the industry here that's required. We don't, it wasn't going to happen unless I moved, and I'm not going to move. So now I'm like, what else do I love? And when I was really little, for a minute, I wanted to be an architect. I can't do math, so it just never happened. And so it never happened. And now I'm like, my second love after all things entertainment is home development, construction, real estate. So
you're just kind of seeing where that avenue
dabble.
takes you.
Yeah, just dabbling.
Yeah.
I mean, I love designing, obviously, but I don't want to design for anybody else but myself. I don't want to design for somebody else. I'd rather, build a home my way, the way I love it, and then sell it. And the people who like it will come to me. And if they,
Gotcha.
you know what I mean?
You could flip homes.
Well, that's like my end goal. I'm just, but I'm a little too, I shouldn't say I'm too young, but I'm
That's
like
not
one more
true,
thing
yeah.
in between, one more thing.
Yeah. No, I
Let's
get
try
that.
this real estate
Do you
thing.
find that people recognize you on the street at all?
Okay, this is, it's one of those like things that are so embarrassing to admit, but like, fuck, like if I come downtown, oh my God, like sometimes 5 to 10 times a day. I'm not exaggerating. I wish I was joking. Like if I go clubbing in Yaletown,
will they point, or they'll be like, oh,
Or
hey, it's
staring.
Christos.
You're like, oh,
no,
that's...
like it's so weird because like I don't think of myself as like anything other than this like just random like Vancouver guy who's like running around with his like phone out. But I will go out in Yaletown. People, I'm not even joking you. It's ridiculous. Like ask for photos with me.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. It's weird and it's so flattering, but I'm also like, why? Like why? But if I stay around my neighborhood, I'd say usually once to twice a day. If I come downtown, minimum 5.
No way.
My family will tell you restaurants, like wherever we go out for dinner, it's wild. And it's really, it's honestly, this sounds so stupid, but it's probably the only reason I haven't quit yet. It sounds like stupid.
It keeps you motivated.
It's motivating. And
course.
people will literally come up to me and be like, oh, like, don't stop your videos. Like, I love your videos. Don't stop. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how do I tell them I was going to stop this morning? Like, but it's addicting and it's really, nice. And that's the one thing I like is I've learned, like, I feel like we were talking about this earlier. Like, Vancouver's a small city. It's a really small city. And I learned that because I don't have in the big picture of the world, I don't have a massive following whatsoever. But then when you narrow it down to my little target audience, I've really learned, oh my God, like it is a small city.
It's very,
and I've met so many people who, just watch my content and I'm blown away, honestly. Like it's shocking.
Yeah.
Like it's shocking to me how many people, and I love when people say hi.
Like
and everyone's been lovely. So nice.
You were saying that you like the entertainment aspect. That's why you don't know if you want to dive deep into real estate or whatever. I feel like Murad wants to be in entertainment. He just hasn't I
have a radio
out
face.
of
That's the problem.
The entertainment. Like he just hasn't admitted to himself. He hasn't set himself down, looked in the mirror, and said, "I am."
Oh no, the problem is I have looked into the mirror. This is where you say no.
No,
No one's saying no.
I'm
no, definitely
Michael, you don't have a mic. We can still say no.
not.
No
No,
one
like,
even shook their head.
the amount of like reels that he makes, like how many things he wants to do for social media, or like this was his idea, and we were just kind of like, okay, sure, let's do it, right? And so he loves being in front of the camera. I think we should just realize that, Myrna, you should be an actor, like not an actor, but like, why don't you start a YouTube channel?
We are talking about it.
Yeah, we're talking
Oh,
about it.
great.
We have been talking about it for a while.
I want to do vlogs.
Wait,
and
do you
stuff.
do? But when you say you do reels, do you not do TikTok? No.
We do TikTok too, but
But he posts the same. Also, I'll give you a little bit of feedback as just someone that views TikToks, a lot of them, hours a day. He posts the same. He'll make a reel and you just put that into TikTok, but that doesn't work the same way because TikTok is just swipe.
On
Like
Instagram,
every
he
2
means,
seconds,
yeah.
like, and the GIFs that you use or whatever on your Instagram, they don't work on TikTok because they look cheap on TikTok. They don't
Right.
make sense. People are just like more so, daily vlogs like Christos says, or Georgia, like off the cuff, or reactions. If you actually, as a general contractor, reacted to videos of like people pouring concrete the wrong way, or like
I
a
did that a few
nightmare
times.
job,
Like I had clients that would ask me to go to like, hey, I'm looking to buy a house. It's a fixer upper. Will you come with me?
a react as in like you're just sitting on the couch and you're in selfie mode,
Oh.
and beside you is someone
Doesn't want to
showing
be in
their
selfie mode. Radio face.
someone showing their like bathroom reno. He's saying, oh yeah, like that's not the proper way to do it. It's this and this and this. And people then comment because they're like, oh really, my bathroom was done this way, or then some other bathroom guys.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's fair.
I think that
I
would
should
get you
diversify
a
a
lot
little
more
bit.
views. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just spend hours a day on TikTok like I do. Yeah.
That'll be.
Is there something funny,
solution.
Well,
Um,
you said you lived in LA for a bit.
No, I didn't live, but I spent a lot of time there.
A lot of
yeah,
time.
a lot in my early 20s.
Was
yeah.
your plan ever to move there?
Oh,
or
100%.
100%?
100% it was. Yeah.
What was the goal behind, like, if
acting like Hollywood.
acting or social media?
Oh my gosh, what was the goal? Well, my dad was a film, or I say was, he took a break, and I think he's dabbling back into it, but he was a film producer when I was growing up, right? So, and his company was based out of LA, and I grew up acting, and I think I only did it because it was easy, like I hate to say it, but
Right.
it was just what I was exposed to, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
this is a awesome way to make good money at a young age, save, and I loved it, but I didn't love it. And then I actually worked in music, but my dad would always bring me to his like events, and he would have film premieres down in the States, and he would work with some really cool people, and I'd go there and I would just be like, I love this lifestyle, and I would meet really cool people. I then went into work in music. I actually recorded a full EP in 2018 and 2019, and I never released it, but
Singing, piano, was
singing,
singing.
yeah. And I never released it, but I wanted to work in music, and I was like, if this is gonna work out, I have to move. But
That
I'm-
wasn't something you wanted to do.
it was what I wanted to do at that point, and that's probably the only reason why I always say now, I'm like, oh, I wish I started my TikTok sooner, but up until I started my TikTok, I was like, oh, I'm gonna work on this music, and it's gonna be this or nothing. Like, this is gonna work out. But I really was just like, So when I actually was leaving my place downtown, I had like a serious conversation with my parents before it sold. It took a long time to sell, but when we first listed it, I was like, I need to move to Los Angeles. If I don't move to Los Angeles, like I'm stuck. Like, I'm just I feel like I've hit a
The roadblock. Yeah.
roadblock, and I need to leave. And I don't know what. I think after the borders opened and I started doing my TikTok and growing this like huge love for Vancouver, I then start going to the States again with my dad, or to visit a couple friends I have down there. And I was like, I don't like it, I just like, I do not like it down here. It's just like like, dare I say it? Like, it's like a fake it till you make it world to me,
Yeah.
at least. That was my,
Vancouver's not far from that.
no, it's not at all. And I didn't want to say that because I didn't
I'll
want to say that.
gladly say it.
It's like
I'm
on the
glad
tip of his
someone said
tongue.
it, but no, but I just,
Vancouver's all about that.
Vancouver
and
is all
LA
about
are
that.
very
there's guys in
similar,
Yale-
yeah.
I know there's other people say this, but like in Yaletown, you'll see the same car running around Hamilton
I
Street,
know.
and
And the guy
whatever.
lives in like,
guy lives right across the street, by the way, right? But he just wherever.
or even worse, he
They're
lives like
rented.
in Abbotsford.
yeah.
He comes here
Or
just
the
on a
car is
Saturday night.
rented.
Yeah.
And he's just doing laps, revving his engine.
no, I know I didn't want to say it, but you said it, so I'm glad someone else did. But yeah, no,
So I have no following. I can't get canceled.
I don't really care at this point. I've learned, like, you know what, like I say what, you know, it's like, who cares? Like, you
Yeah.
know, but no, it was, I've just learned I love
And-
Vancouver.
And that's like I remember I used to like I've always wanted to start a business, and I'm very happy that I did. And the way that it's going, I enjoy doing it. But at some point you kind of want to move on and do something else, but still keep what you're doing. So I really want to get into doing flips and eventually developing. And at first I was like, oh, but that's not what I started doing. And I thought, oh, it's like I have the ability to change my mind and just focus on something else. I'm not looped into anything by any means. That I can just drop everything right now and move to Alaska if I really wanted to. I have free will, which is great to realize.
Specific.
Which is great to realize as a young
Yeah.
adult, because you have the ability to decide, no, fuck LA. I just want to stay here and do what I want to do.
You know, Alaska's not owned by Russia anymore.
Yeah, so that's a good point to touch on. Is there anything else? I don't even know.
I
how long
mean,
we've been
okay,
talking
so
for.
in terms, is there anything that you want to add that you think people that are watching your videos like, hey, I really wish these people knew this about me, because I hear these comments all the time.
Oh my gosh, good question.
Putting you on the spot right now.
No, it's a good question. I mean,
It's a good
I
question.
feel like for the most part we've,
Because this is half of this. If this is this to show, give you a platform where you
Mhm.
can, like, even Georgia, like when Georgia's video on YouTube had the most views that we've had, just because I think so many people were interested to know what this person's like beyond the 10-second reel. So
what's funny, I guess, okay, now that you say that, it's, you know, people always like comment on my videos saying like, oh my God, you live such an awesome life. And I'm like, you know, in the end of the day, like a day like today where, you know, I knew I was coming here and I was like, I'm not going to do anything today. I really, you know, I woke up, I went to spin class, I came home, I walked the dog, I went to go get my coffee, I studied for like 4 hours, and then I like did my laundry, and I, you know, it's just like a lot of my days are very boring, you know, they're very boring. And I mean, no, it was just life. I mean, you know, I do really normal, boring things. And I used to be a lot more of an it's funny, I used to be much more of an extrovert than I am now.
Mhm.
And like, actually, this is the other thing that's sort of funny is some people are always like, you like not have any friends, like, you know, like, do you not have any friends, like, which is a funny one that a lot of people ask.
there's no other people in your
Well, no,
in your
but
videos
yeah, so it's
usually.
funny because when I first started, I had you know, one of my friends, Vanessa, she was like by my side for everything. And then I used to have my friends come up with me for, you know, I would do everything with my friends, but I just don't like to drag. When I'm filming, I'm so like focused, and people, I could tell I was starting to annoy people,
Right.
you know? So it's like, yeah, but I guess I knew I was starting to annoy
That's
the
that
people
guy
I was
over
bringing
here.
around with me because I was on my phone. I was glued to my phone constantly,
Yeah.
editing as I'm walking. I just like wasn't present. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I got to do this alone. And when I finish at the end of the night, I go, you know, see my friends for dinner, and I go out on the weekends, and I love to go out on the weekends. But
That's
You know?
very self-aware of you. Yeah.
Yeah,
To see that
for sure.
oh no, I
Push
was,
people
you know,
off.
I like, it took a couple people to like call me out and just be like, okay, like, are we gonna put our phone down? And I'd be like, right, you know. And I was
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah.
what, I'd rather just do this.
Is this gonna make the day of the life here or no?
I actually I filmed Get Ready With Me
This
before
is
I
after you follow us, obviously. But
yeah, no, I filmed the Get Ready With Me while like when I was on my way here and getting ready, and I mean, I didn't say what I was doing, but I will say what I was doing afterwards. I was like, yeah, I was just trying to have a little fun, you know, it's fun.
Yeah.
sorry, so will this be on?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want on
I
it?
really wants to be on your channel. Jesus.
No, yeah, I mean, of course.
You heard it first.
Who do you want to see on this podcast? Anyone locally? Maybe someone in
Oh.
real estate or design?
You were like,
or-
yeah, I would sit down and watch that entire 35-minute clip on YouTube.
Or maybe if anyone from one of your brand deals, like the owner of it, that's entrepreneurial, would want to be on something like this.
Anyone?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
Why does this question always stumble?
You know what's
people?
funny,
I find
though?
it- I
Like-
find it
Well,
very
because-
interesting.
I wouldn't know what to say either.
You would probably say Evan.
Ooh.
I mean, maybe just to get the question out of the way,
Yeah.
but I'd really have to think about it too.
Oh my. It's funny because, you know, if you asked me this earlier, I would have probably had like multiple names I could come up with. Who would I like to see? Actually, I have one, but I want to tell you after. I want to
Okay,
tell you after.
sure.
Yeah, I have one. Or someone I
ahead.
think you should have on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think could you connect us with that person?
Oh yeah, it's one of my best friends.
Okay.
I think you'd love her. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. I think that bombshell. Well, and also, podcast. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah, man,
on.
Thank you guys.
Pleasure meeting you.
Seriously, thank you.
And hit a follow comment on his stuff, comment on our stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.